Welcome back to Shadowrun Hong Kong. Alright, after a night's sleep, it's time to go see Auntie Chang and see what we can do about finding Mr. Plastic Mask and getting some answers, maybe getting some vengeance. And hopefully she'll open up these vendors to me because I want to buy some upgrades for my dudes. Oh, there's some other people here. There's Gobbet and but who are these other folks? Kindly's place reeks of stale cigar smoke and fresh urine. The clicking of mahjong tiles is strangely absent. In its place is a low murmur of laughter and an air of eager anticipation. All eyes are focused on the groaning figure kneeling bloody and bound at the feet of Kindly Chang. Oh, is this Strangler Bao? She beckons to him with her finger and he struggles toward her, the loud rustling of the plastic tarp cracking under his knees as he moves. His pants are wet with fear. An acetylene torch lies on the table at Chang's right hand. Nah, this is probably not Strangler Bao, because I don't think she wants to kill him. She said she already got him back into the fold. Well, we'll see. Kindly Chang ignores the scene. She behaves as if all was right with the world. How did you sleep, my little ones? Not too well, Auntie Chang. I had a bad dream. You register a brief hesitation before she responds. You poor darling. Perhaps it's the food here. I understand it can be a bit too spicy for outsiders. Man, I like Auntie Chang. Still, a bad dream is a better way to spend the night than getting a bullet in the ear while you sleep. She flicks a mahjong tile at the kneeling man's head. Wouldn't you agree, shitbird? She indicates the kneeling man with an incline of her nose. Shitbird here is a plainclothes cop. He snuck into the area last night while you were sleeping, hoping to find you and kill you before his competition got to you first. My men found him outside the trawler you were sleeping on. They saw to it that your rest was undisturbed and that your location remained a mystery. She nods her head back toward the pillar of meat standing behind her. You can thank Mr. Bao for that. Thank you for guaranteeing our safety, Mr. Bao. Bao inclines his head 1/4 of an inch. She addresses the bloody man on his knees. Now, shitbird, tell my friends here what you told me. I don't know anything, I swear. We just got the orders in last night. He pushes his head toward you and moves from the floor, struggling to keep his balance. Somebody high up wants these two dead. The whole department is on it. I don't know anything else. Someone from high up. The old woman lifts her foot, taps his chin with the toe of her shoe. How high? The cop looks up at her, looks around at the room filled with triad soldiers. One of them opens his coat and shows the cop something inside. He closes it slowly and winks. The cop drops his head to his chest. All the way up. It's someone on the council. Someone on the executive council wants these two dead? Chang spits on him with a sneer. Fuck your ancestors to their 18th generation. Give me the truth. The cop wears the spittle. He never lifts his head. It's the truth, madam. I swear it. Whoever it was labeled them as terrorists. We're to exterminate with extreme prejudice. Kindly Chang shuffles closer to the kneeling cop, reaches down and strokes his head with her hand. Then she slowly digs her finger into scalp. She pulls back hard until his chin points high. The triad boss leans in close and searches his eyes with her own. That's all he's got. She lets go of his head and smooths his buzzed cut hair with her hand. For whatever reason, last night someone on the executive council of the Free Enterprise Zone ordered the Hong Kong police force to kill 2 nobodies from Seattle. I find that fascinating, don't you? Yes, but why the need to label us international terrorists? She strokes the policeman's cheek with the back of her hand. Her rusty voice becomes sweet as she explains the ways of the world. Propriety, my darling. When the government has someone gunned down, they prefer to make it appear justified. The people feel safer when their murderers feel like part of civilization. My. But you have definitely fallen into the deep end of the pool. Seattle isn't like Hong Kong. There, the megacorps control the government. Here, the corps are the government. The exec council is chosen by the corporate board of governors. They're basically the legislative and executive branches of the Hong Kong government in one tiny package. 8 people call all the shots. Neat and efficient. So it's an oligarchy. Kindly Cheng steps back from the cop and lights one of her thin black cigars. For the wage slaves and the civilian sheeple, the corporations are a pantheon of gods who wield absolute power. She looks around the room. But not for us. The triad woman takes a long pull from her cigar and taps her ash on the kneeling cop's head. Who else knows about my guest's visit to Hioi, shitbird? No one, madam. I hadn't called it in yet. I wanted the kill for myself. No one knows they're here. I swear it. She turns to her enforcer. Mr. Bao? Bao fiddles with the PDA in his meaty hands. He's telling the truth. No outgoing calls on his PDA. Well, this guy's a dead man. No loose ends. Very good. Thank you, Bao. She nods at the cop. Thank you for your honesty. In one smooth motion, there he goes. Strangler Bao produces a silenced pistol, fires it once into the policeman's head, and replaces it in his jacket. His face never changes expression. Looks like the triads can be just as efficient. Cheng takes a drag on her cigar. Yes, my darling. Yeah, I'm not too happy about killing the cop, but I knew that was coming. He's the only one who knows. This guy's a dead man. I mean, he's a dead man either way, but... She balances her cigar on her shot glass, picks up some mahjong tiles, and begins playing with them absently. It is clear our friend Raymond Black was up to something involving the walled city. Something having to do with prosperity. And this executive council member wanted Raymond dead for it. She stacks her tiles one by one. Click, clack. Now they want you dead for it, too. Click. This plastic-faced man may show up on your door one day, too. She knocks the pile over and it clatters to the table loudly. I have a proposal for you, my sweets. A smile lights up her dead black eyes. Work for me. With Nightjar and Gutshot dead, I find myself with 2 job openings. Fill them. I have need of deniable assets here. Players unaffiliated with the triads who can take care of some of the more unsavory business needs about town. You've proven yourselves resourceful, and you have no existing connections here. That can be positive in this line of work. Well, I figure I probably don't have a choice. I need her resources, and, yeah. Shadowrunners. Wu grunts. His jaw tightens, but he stays quiet. In exchange, I will keep you safe from pests like this one. She nods at the body of the floor. I think it's supposed to say on the floor. The pool of blood on the plastic wrap continues to widen. You'll have safe harbor here in my town and a steady source of income. She picks up a handful of tiles again. And while you dip your toe into the waters of corporate espionage, organized crime, and clandestine mercenary actions, I will employ my network to find the plastic-faced man and gather information about Raymond Black. Where he's been, who he's talked to, who stood to gain from his death, what this prosperity could be. You're putting out a lot of effort to help a pair of foreigners. Not foreigners, my sweet. Valued business associates. I need to learn who killed one of my clients and then order the cops to execute my team of Shadowrunners. Her voice drops and she becomes deadly serious. This is a brazen disregard of my power. Face dictates it must be confronted, or I stand to lose everything. We need to find out who killed Raymond and why. And we shall, my sweet. She leans in. Work with me. Allow me to help you make money. Let my network work for you and help you find out what you've gotten yourselves into. Without my help, you won't last a day out there. You're completely out of your depth, I'm afraid. You need a partner. Kindly Cheng will be your partner. Yeah, well, I'd say more like boss, not partner, but it is what it is. Wu's hands go to his hips. He drops his head and shakes it a little, amused. It was just like you said, Koji. Shadowrunners. Glad I had some time to think about it. Process. He grips the back of his neck, squeezes hard, rips his hand away. Ah, fuck it. I'm not a cop anymore. That guy's dead, he nods. The decision's made. I'm in. What about you? I think Ray's alive, too. Let's run the shadows and figure out what happened to him. Raymond is alive. I'm sure of it. So I'll run the shadows as long as Auntie Cheng keeps up her end of the bargain and helps us figure out what really happened to him. Then I'm gonna find my father. Then it's done. Hioe is now open to you. Sweet. She gestures to her lieutenant, who raises a finger to her ear and whispers into her sleeve. First order of business. Rubik here has already chosen a street name. She turns her attention to Wu. But Duncan Wu doesn't exist anymore. You'll need one too. Oh, it's going to be Gun Show. It has to be Gun Show. Wu sighs. Yeah, okay, I'll think of something. Gabba rubs her cheek against her rats, a glint in her eye. I think we've already got you covered, Gun Show. Yes! She turns to Isabel. Fits, doesn't it? Indeed. I knew that was going to stick. It has stuck, Gabba. Isabel, we'll handle this the same way we did it with all your previous work. She didn't say Nightjar. All the jobs I line up for you will be sent to your computer on the squat boat. She's pointing at you. Got it. Why him? It's a simple process of elimination. She points to the little Decker. Isabel isn't the leader type. You got that right. She moves her finger to the orc girl. As for Gobbet, let's just say Gobbet doesn't have a head for business. Not my thing. Then she rests her finger on Wound. And then there's Gunshow. She wiggles it. The jury's out on Mr. Gunshow. Meaning? Her response is direct, straightforward. Meaning there's a lot going on within that head of yours right now, and I'm not sure I can trust you. Gunshow will be fine. Trust me. Kindly Cheng makes eye contact with you and holds it. She keeps it steady for a long time. Wu doesn't notice. Don't worry. I'll be cool, Koji. I had a handle back in the Barrens. Rubik. Guess it's time I dusted it off. Wu shakes his head, eyebrows raised. Gonna be weird calling you Rubik again. I haven't called you that since we were kids. Gobbet looks from Isabel to Wu to you. I guess this is our new crew. The rat on her shoulder scurries to the top of her head for a better view. Welcome to the shadows, Rubik. Kindly regards you coldly and lifts one hand in a dismissive way. As much as I love your company, I have business to attend to. clear the hell out of here and get settled in. Fair enough. Alright, let's go visit some vendors. Crew advancement available. As you lead your team through the shadows, your companions will continue to develop and learn new combat skills. Clicking the icon in the lower right-hand corner of the screen will open the crew advancement menu. When this icon is highlighted, one or more of your companions is eligible to learn new combat skills. Oh, cool. Now I can spend their karma. At each advancement level, you may choose one or two possible combat skills for one of your runners. Choose wisely. Oh, okay, so I don't spend their karma the same way? Well, that's just one way to find out, I guess. I got 1 point for myself. Right now I can't choose anybody. Okay. That'll probably come up once I go on a run and I pick my crew. Alright. Alright. Hopefully this monk here will sell me some mage skills. Despite the wind and rain pelting Hioi, the proprietor of this stall, a monk, judging by their outfit, is unconcerned. The monk's expression is indifferent, though hardly placid or serene. The muscles show as tightly wound metal bands beneath the skin, ready to snap in any direction without warning. Well, he's definitely going to have physical adept stuff, but I hope he's got mage stuff too. What's more, the monk's robes are anything but ordinary. Certainly silk makes up the base outfit, but it's paired with high-impact ballistic armor, heavy-duty boots, and a bandolier of throwing knives. The table in front of you is arrayed with a wide variety of melee weapons, charms, jade pendants, and other mystical accoutrements. Beneath an awning in the rear are rows upon rows of cages, each housing some variety of exotic reptile or insect. These in turn are flanked by jars and boxes of Chinese herbs, incense, powders, and inks. The monk spares you only the shortest of glances as you approach. I am Monk Shen. Most people in Hioi call me Spider Shen, on account of the spiders back there. You're not local, not by a long shot. It's definitely a statement, not a question. What tipped you off? Shen smirks crookedly, two teeth peeking out from beneath his lips. Body language. You're not afraid to look me in the eye for one. For another, your clothes. Not in fashion, here in Hong Kong. Swords, knives, clubs. I sell it all. I make most of these. But if I can't, I've got friends who can. If you need incense or salves for medication, I make and sell those too. But if your joints ache, I can give you acupuncture. Shen places both palms on the table, leaning over it toward you with a wicked grin. So, what can I show you? You sell snakes and spiders too? Shen shakes a finger at you, eyes narrow. No, they're mine. I could sell you the things I craft with my hands, or the things I can do, but the medicines and poisons I make are my secret. You want those? You apprentice to me. In 5 years, maybe I show you how to make a poultice, eh? They're not secret. Of course they're secret. These are what set me apart from the rest of the street dealers in Hioi. You want cram or bliss? Any 2-bit triad punk can make that for you. But I can realign your ki, set your yin and yang in balance, or set somebody else's out of balance with a few drops. To master my skills, you need to learn for years. It's not just following a formula. You want to learn, you need patience. You try to learn without patience, all you do is ape the masters. Shang snaps 2 fingers and points at the cages. You have to understand to truly learn my art. Otherwise, you never become a master. You might as well get a skill saw. Alright, let's see what you got. Street monk outfit. That's nice. That gives me a lot more armor than the crap I got now. Looks like all he's got is key casting. Well, that's a bummer. But there's got to be a real deal mage dealer around here somewhere. Throwing nice specters. Alright. Maybe at that door before with the over here, looking like some kind of mystical ritual type deal going on. Parlor of 5 phases. One way to find out. Oh, this is a cool looking place. Crafty Jus. A mild scent, sweet and slightly herbal, is the first thing you notice upon entering the old shop. Its quarters are cramped, made smaller by the display cases and furniture packed inside. The walls are lined with bookshelves, and the tables and chairs are stacked with old tomes. A few titles jump out at you. Lucid Dreaming, an exploration of the inner self. Dream Logic. Nocturnal Visitations. Overall, the place feels lived in, if disorganized. Not quite cluttered, but close. Milling at the front of the store is the shopkeeper, lost in a book of her own. She's tall for a human, probably close to 2 meters in height. Her physique is typical bookworm, not overweight, but you can't see any muscular definition either. A wraparound tattoo covers her upper arms and shoulders, but from where you're standing you can't quite make it out. She fidgets. Gradually her eyes rise from her book and lock onto you. Welcome. Don't believe I've seen you before. She sets down her book and sweeps a strand of black and pink hair behind her ear. Name's Crafty. Rubik. Nice to meet you. She shakes your hand. Her grip is surprisingly firm. So, Rubik, what can I do for you? I've got spells, alchemical reagents, foci, whatever you want, really. Might have to do some digging to find it, but if it's magical, it's around here somewhere, then you are the person I've been looking to see. Crafty. Well, let's talk to her some first. Say, Crafty, have you had any vivid dreams lately? Her face is unreadable. Her eyes lock onto yours. As a matter of fact, I have, Rubik, but we all get the occasional vivid dream. Nothing special there. Gesture to the books on the tabletop. Really? Then why are you reading up on them? She flicks her wrist dismissively. Sure, it's a little weird that we're having them, but these types of dreams are common in the walled city. Nothing to get all worked up about. Probably. Strange. I met someone the other day who said that too. She nods. Anyone who's familiar with the walled city would know that, but most people don't go out of their way to find out. My mother devoted her life to researching the walled city and the magical phenomena within it, so I grew up with stories about the city, the recurrent creepy dreams being one of them. The common then? She nods. Common as the cold. My mother devoted her life to researching the walled city and the magical phenomena within it, so I grew up with the... Oh, she's saying the same thing. I've never been inside the walled city myself, but Mom went in pretty regularly and experienced the dreams. Your mom sounds like an interesting person. The insides of her mouth dip into a shallow frown. Sure, she was interesting, but not praiseworthy. What else do you know about the walled city? Very little. Just that my mother spent most of her time in there, and she shifts her weight, leans onto the counter. Well, it messed her up. Is there something specific you want to know about? I want to know about the people who live there. Walled city residents tend to fall into 2 groups: those who are threats and those who are threatened. You're either hunting or hiding. Life is harsh. Most people never get out. Now there's a whole library here that just so happens to be the foremost location for walled city texts. I'm sure you can fill in the blanks. Tell me about yourself, Crafty. She raises a shoulder in a half shrug. I'm not sure where to start. What do you want to know? What do you do when you're not at work? I've been pretty crunched here at the shop, so I don't have a lot of time outside of work. But when I'm off the clock, I like to read and paint. Maybe kick back and enjoy a meal with my friends. My buddy Gobbett sometimes stops by with food. No drag racing or anything. Pretty boring. You said paint? Just for fun. I don't make any money off it or anything like that. I just find it relaxing. She pats her arms. Design my tattoos, but that's about the extent that it takes beyond the canvas. Mind if I see that tattoo? I can't quite make it out from here. Yeah, sure. She turns her back to you and you can see the tattoo in all its glory. It looks like an impressionist rendition of a school of salmon jumping upstream. The artistry of the piece is undeniable. That's amazing. Really professional quality work. An embarrassed smile creeps up into her features. She snatches her shoulder. You're being way too generous. But I'll take it. Thanks. I know a Gobbet. Wonder if they're the same person. You know a lot of Gobbets? Her teasing resolves itself into a gentle smirk. I'm sure they're one and the same. She's a good person. We're not real close, but we have a pleasant relationship. Chatting over French fries, discussing our latest reads. You know, shallow things. How do you know her? She and Isabel got me out of a tough spot. Good. Keep her by your side. Gobbet's pretty fluent in the ways of this city and the people who live here. She knows her stuff. If you stick with her, you'll find yourself in a lot less trouble than you would otherwise. What do you like to read? Crafty claps her hands together and a slow smile spreads across her face. Aside from the usual, I love sitting down each morning to a tall cup of soy calf, and with the latest news stream on hand, I pop it right open to the obituaries. Makes for great reading. She smiles at you for a moment before speaking. Kidding. Well, for all you know. I tend to stay toward detective novels, maybe some suspense and horror, and when I'm not reading for leisure, I study my textbooks to keep my magic sharp. Your mother sounds like quite the mage. Did you study magic too? I sure did. Natural predisposition. She flexes her arm. Or whatever. But Mom and I learned to craft differently. I went to university and she was book taught. Mom was very old school. Her magic wasn't as applicable to everyday situations, and it was rooted in superstitions. It still worked, and well, but only for more ritualistic, ancient spells. Practical spells like rain shields and bottomless trash cans were outside of her repertoire. And is Crafty her real first name? No. A wave of nostalgia seems to pull her gaze toward the shop front window. The name started out as a joke, actually. Back home, my mom used to call me Crafty, since the meaning is similar to my given name. I liked it because of the way it sounds. I insisted that my family call me Crafty, so it became a sort of nickname around the house. When I got older and started school in Hong Kong, I made my mom register me as Crafty, and it stuck. So what's your given name? Meow. She raises her hand to prevent you from replying. Yes, like a cat. You foreigners always make that same joke, which is why I grew up hating meow. Call me Crafty. Fair enough. Fair enough. Alright, let's see what you got. I'm gonna talk to her some more later. Alright, we got Acid Bolt. Damage over time. But that's a conjurer spell. Power Bolt I already have. Shaman Ritual Garb. Chain Lightning. Oh, you need it. Okay, I am going to need some intelligence. Wow. Like for some of these spells. Life Siphon. Nice, I like this. Not a lot of damage, but armor pierces too. Nice. And it gives me back one intelligence. I can do lightning bolt. It also does -1 AP. That's cool. Mana Ball, definitely want that. I need an AoE spell. Mind Wipe. Stun Bolt. Kind of weak, just -1 AP. But is it, for how long does the -1 AP last? Permanently, the entire battle? If it's permanent, that's not too bad. Spell Magic. Acid Stream. 1. That's another, it's probably a Conjurer spell, right? No. So Acid Bolt is a Conjurer spell. Acid Stream is a Mage spell. Does damage. Does an ongoing -6 hit points for 1 round, and strips armor. That's a pretty good spell. Distraction. Flamethrower. Alright, so it's looking like for some, I am going to have to increase my intelligence some, which isn't the worst thing in the world, because I wouldn't mind getting some more biotech. Yes, I have strip armor. Fog, that's shaman. Shaman. +1 willpower fetish. Can't afford it, but actually I can, but it would need most of my money. It's not bad though. It's something I might get in the future when I have more money to play with. This shaman stuff. Alright, so let's see. I'm definitely going to want to get the clothes, but I don't know if I want to get the shamanic ritual garb. None of these give bonuses. I bet the weapons dealer, like a gun dealer, will have a different one. And whatever other will have another one. They'll all be armor 3, just have a different look. So it's up to which one I want. It's just pure aesthetic choice. I'm sure the higher level ones will have the bonuses to specific classes. That is a powerful spell, but I don't have the required prerequisites, but that's alright. Get that in the future. I don't. It would pretty much wipe out all my new yen too. Though I can probably sell some stuff. All right. Let's see. Gonna want Mana Ball, I think, because I need an AoE spell. Here's this armor too. Let's get Mana Ball. A little AoE. Heal Wound is a good one. Some healing. Of course, I could get some healing with Life Siphon, but that would be only for me. Heal Wound, I could heal others. I am kind of tempted to get Life Siphon. Pierce's armor too. I have limited funds, so I want to leave at least $450 so I can buy armor. This Acid Stream, pretty cheap. 9 damage and 6 hit points for 1 round. So it's really 15 damage. And strips 1 armor from the target. It's actually pretty damn good. I like that. I like that better than my Mana Bolt. I need something healing, or some kind of utility spells. I don't want to just get everything. Aim 1 is just kind of weak. I am going to want to get an aim spell. 8 to 12% really isn't that much. Probably wait till later. Strip armor, this is pretty cheap. Increases armor by 2 for 3 rounds. Flamethrower does pretty good damage, but I have damage here already. I'm gonna stick with what I got. If I get Life Siphon, I won't be able to afford that. In fact, if I get any of these, I won't be able to afford. So I might just get rid of this for now. So I want to get better armor. Well, hold on. Let's sell some stuff. That's all I have. Let's sell Manibolt. Probably won't be using Manibolt if I get that. I definitely want to sell a tote, but I'm not going to be using this. I kind of like keeping the Manibolt though, because it just gives me more, because the spells have a cooldown. So when one's cooling down, I can cast the other. Medkit. So this and this. Now if I get, I'll still be just short if I buy the heal spell. Being able to just, let's see. If I buy the heal wound, that'll leave me with 445, and I need 450. That's a bummer. Could get rid of one of these. This has a cooldown of 2. This has a cooldown. This uses 2 AP. It's an AoE, so it's usually worth it. Can I sell? I could sell a basic med kit. If I have the heal spell, I probably won't be using med kits that much. Now I can get heal wound and still have enough to buy armor. Let's do it. Now I have a decent array of weak-ass spells, but better than what I had before. Alright. Cool. These are all equipped, that's fine. Is this your store, or do you just work here? It's mine. I inherited it from my mom. As you can see, she generously left me all her research journals. Her words are thick with sarcasm. Mom was never a big cleaner. Neither am I. My mom used to keep spirits around that helped her manage the place. They're not here anymore, but sometimes I swear my books aren't where I last placed them. Who knows? Maybe they pop by for visits. I just wish they'd clean while they were here. What's the name of this store? It's a cultural thing. The 5 phases represent wood, earth, water, fire, and metal. Some people believe they're the basis of how things function and interact in this world. You'll find it all practiced all throughout China, in disciplines ranging from farming to science, even music. The theory isn't common among younger generations, but it has its uses. My mother was strongly influenced by it. In fact, our sign out front is a visual representation of the cycle of the 5 phases. It has an inspiration, her. It was an inspiration, her. For her, probably. She raises a shoulder in a half shrug. I just think it looks neat. So what makes the store so special? It's old, but respectable, built over a dragon line. Well, that's a bonus. She slightly tilts her head to the side. We also carry texts unavailable anywhere else, but I guess for me, I'm drawn to this place by the nostalgia. How do you like working here? It's a job, can't complain. Get that your relationship with your mother was unusual. You better believe it. She was obsessed with the walled city. Put it before everyone in her life. Mom ate, slept, and breathed that city. Was something fueling her obsession? Crafty shifts her gaze to a stack of books on a nearby table. Yeah, actually. Mom was convinced that something was wrong with the place, that it was cursed in some way. Polluted with unnaturally bad ki. Yeah, not the first person to tell me that. She visited the city under the protection of the Yellow Lotus and spent hours, sometimes days, studying it. Crafty tears her eyes away from the books and returns her gaze to you. Mother was consumed by her research. Did she ever find anything? She sure tried. Mom thought she could find a way to purify the place and to exorcise its demons. Her obsession with the walled city grew, and she devoted more and more of her life to breaking its curse. Wish I could say she fell off the radar, but really, the rest of the world fell off of hers. I'm sorry, Crafty. That must have been hard for you. It is what it is, and here I am. Crafty gives you a warm smile. Sounds like you don't believe in your mother's research. You can see Crafty studying you. She exhales through her nose, and it seems as if she's considering something. I know we've just met, Rubik, but you have a generous ear. I don't mind discussing my mother with you as long as we keep the details between us. No problem. Mother's research was stupid. Just plain stupid. She wasn't stupid herself, no. Mom was very bright, but her obsession was downright unhealthy. Anyone could see that. The walled city is a toxic place, home to dark spirits and astral influences. Mom believed in a singular curse at the heart of the place. When you say toxic, what do you mean? My mother failed to change the walled city, and the time she spent inside there changed her. She grew sickly and became moody, irritable. She suffered from night terrors the rest of her life. Crafty languidly sweeps a small clump of dust off a nearby book. Must have been difficult to watch her decline like that. She points a finger at you. It wasn't just that. The breaking point for me was her ridiculous obsession. I refused to indulge her, and it drove a wedge between us. Neither of us was willing to relent. A small, bitter laugh escapes her throat. I guess we had that in common. Stubborn till the end. So after Mom died, I turned my back on her work and left the walled city and its people to themselves. It's a toxic site beyond rehabilitation. I do my best to ignore it. Her composure breaks for a second, and you can see Crafty shift nervously behind the counter. At least I've tried. Now that these dreams, these nightmares are leaking out of the walled city, I wonder if I could still ignore it. We always have a choice. You're right, but not everyone's choices are weighed evenly, and I just don't think I can turn a blind eye to what's happening here. She loosely gestures to a bookshelf all over the shop. I have my mother's journals. I have the means to try and help. It's sure to dredge up bad memories, but if it'll help my friends, maybe it'll be worth it. I don't know. I guess I have a lot to think about. She crosses her arms and wraps her fingers against her skin. Anyway, thanks for lending me that ear of yours. I've been thinking about the dreams. Can I ask you something? She nods. Go ahead. Why do you think they're affecting people outside the walled city? It's definitely strange. Until now, I've always thought the dreams were nonsense, that my mother just had night terrors because of her madness. She props her chin up with her right hand. But now it's really happening. Not just to me, to others around Hioi. Those same psychic forces that drove Mom insane are edging into our subconscious. Lately, I've been wondering if there might have been something to her ravings. Maybe I've been skeptical for so long. It feels almost blasphemous to consider it. Maybe the walled city's curse is real. She rubs her hand down her face, obviously frustrated. I just don't know. Well, you have the means to find out. That's true, but my mother's notes are scattered all over the shop. Most of her research is scrawled in the margins of the books that you see on the shelves in piles and stacks all over. The clues we'd need to figure this thing out could be in any one of these volumes. And there are thousands of them. I have a bad feeling about these dreams, Crafty. If there's anything we can do to get to the bottom of them, we need to take that opportunity. She sighs, straightens up. Yeah, I know what I have to do. It's just, damn. Look at them all. She tiredly looks down at the books she was reading earlier. Guess I won't be finishing this one anytime soon. Alright, Rubik. I'm gonna get started now, but it'll take time. The House of Five Faces is jammed from floor to ceiling with books, and any one of them could have valuable information. Check in once in a while, and I'll share my findings with you. You're doing the right thing. I'll do what I can, too. Thanks, I appreciate that. Alright, see you later, Crafty. I might be back for that shaman garb, but I want to see what other armor I can get. Hey there, Jin. As you approach the small landing, you see three men, two elders and a young man hunched over a go board. The juxtaposition of the two white-haired, white-bearded men and the black-haired man is almost comical. Together, the three resemble the small black and white stones of their game. Despite the variety of ambient distractions, the three men remain acutely focused on the game. One of the elders, a round-faced man with a beatific smile, carefully picks up the black stone and places it on the board. His opponent snorts, and a small smile flashes across his long face. Almost carelessly, he snatches the white stone and deposits it on the board. The smiling man groans, and the long-faced one proceeds to collect several black pieces off the board. Ah, you got me there, Jin. He laughs, a pleasant full sound. As it trails off, he spots you watching the game. A broad smile brightens his cheek. Why, hello there, young man. Something you need? The long-faced man gives you a cursory look and continues to collect black stones. Just a gawker, Shiru. It's your turn. Name's Rubik. Got a second for a question? Shiu nods. I could use a short break. How about you, Jin? Jin sighs, shoulders slumping forward. After a moment of scowling, he reluctantly speaks. Fine. A short break. The two elders turn toward the younger man. He looks to be in his early 30s, but it's difficult to tell. The skin of his face is smooth and supple, with only the suggestions of creases at the eye, mouth, and forehead. But small gestures, a blink and flare of his nostrils, briefly reveal the lines of his face. The man's eyes rise from the go board and study the elders. He nods. Been having any strange dreams recently? I hear that it happens around here. The three men exchange looks. Shiu turns to you. What a coincidence. It wasn't but an hour ago that we were all discussing that very thing. We have been having bad dreams, every one of us. I've had them myself. We should compare notes. What did you dream about? Is that right? Jin leans in, stares at you. Can't say I'm comfortable giving a stranger details about my dream. Shiu waves his hand dismissively at Jin. Don't mind him. He's always been a poor sport. But he raises a good point. Some of our dreams contain information best left private, just as yours do, I'm sure. Having just met, how can we be sure that you'll respect our personal information? I'll tell you. The younger man's voice cuts through the din like a razor, and the elders fall silent. He turns to you and he locks his eyes. Dark orbs that burn with piercing scrutiny onto yours. He nods and returns his gaze to the go board. I believe you're trustworthy. Please, Rubik, make yourself comfortable. I'll share my dream with you. I appreciate it. Go ahead. He exhales slowly and begins speaking. I dreamed of a long, dingy hall. When faced with such a thing, one generally walks its length, so I lifted my right foot and placed it in front of me. But upon taking that first step, I found myself instead drawn down an alley to my left. It wasn't there before, this alley. It appeared only as I began to walk. As I moved down the alley, I found myself surrounded by friends and loved ones. Then they all stood there, silently watching me with smiles on their faces. And as I passed each one of them, they fell to the ground in my wake, dropping like puppets with severed strings. Somehow I knew that if I followed this road to the end, I could have everything I ever dreamed of. But I woke before I could reach it. He folds his hands on his lap. It's almost a moment of silence before Shiu speaks up, the rosiness of his cheeks having drained away. I too saw the long hole. My own experience was different, however. The hall was far off in the distance, and I was looking down it from a strange angle, as though I were perched on a wall high above. He pauses and looks at you. You know, young man, Rubik, you look very much like the person I saw walking that hall. He moved steadily down the path, walking at an even pace, and just behind him, a great and terrible shadow followed. Of course, I didn't have the best view up there on that wall, or wherever I was. It could have been anyone. Perhaps this old mind of mine is seeing your face now and misremembering the dream. He lets out a chuckle, and a small flush of red returns to his cheeks. He looks over at Jin. Alrighty, Jin, go ahead. Jin broods in the corner, his arms crossed and jaw set. I've changed my mind. I don't want to share my dream. Nonsense, Master Lao and I have both told them our dreams. Now it's your turn. Jin sticks out his lower lip. No. It's fine. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. He holds up his palm towards you and looks at you. See? Straight from the horse's mouth. I don't have to. Jin. Lao's voice is firm but soft. This is important. Jin's mouth opens and closes like a gasping fish. But as he looks at Lao, his body relaxes and a sadness seems to take hold of his features. Alright. But don't you go repeating any of this, you hear me? Takes in a deep breath and slowly releases it. Folds his hands on his lap. My dream began as a nightmare. I dreamed of the failures and mistakes that I've made through my life. The people I've let down, the competitors I've crushed, the wife who died in hospice without me. I dreamed of the family that I abandoned. A change comes over him. His eyes brighten as he continues energetically. But then I dreamed of the walled city. I stood before it and its doors opened to me. And when I passed inside, all of my guilt fell away. It was as though the city had absolved me, had washed away my guilt, and I remember feeling happy. As this remembrance ends, so does his lightened mood. His face shrinks into a pout, and he stares grumpily at the ground. There, I did it. You happy? Lao nods slowly. Thank you, Jin. That was great. And don't worry, I won't abuse your personal information. Promise. Yeah. Now can we change the subject? My ulcer's aching up. I'm guessing you've been around these parts longer than I have. Is this sort of thing normal? If it were normal, we wouldn't be huddled together discussing them in whispers now, would we? Enough of that, Jin. Rubik here asked in earnest for our advice. He deserves a proper response. Shiu gives you a gentle smile. Please forgive our friend. Bitter years have left him suspicious of others. The answer to your question is no. Upsetting dreams have never been uncommon in Heoi, but these recent visitations have been different. They've been darker, more vivid, stronger than normal dreams. Last night I felt consumed by the sense that something was coming. While my friends here felt a sense of relief and excitement as their dreams ended, I felt as though I were sitting on the precipice of some vast and terrible chasm, with the void yawning beneath my feet. Suddenly his cheeks flush. He blinks twice and looks away. Well, perhaps these are just the ramblings of an old man. Please forgive me. He scratches his nose, embarrassed. You speak wisely, Shiu. It is foolish to embrace a thing that you do not yet understand. What Jin and I saw in our dreams was alluring, but so is the light to a moth. Your instincts were still strong and sharp, my old friend. It is wise of you to trust them. Shiu bows deeply, his eyes to the ground. Thank you. I can only hope these dreams do lead to something beautiful. There's already enough deception in this world. Jin groans loudly. Can we get back to the game now? I don't want to keep you. Of course. Stop by again sometime, Rubik. Your company has been refreshing. Thank you. Good luck with your game. Appreciate it, young man. We'll be seeing you. Reliable Matthew. What do you got for me? Smooth jazz drifts from the cheap speakers on this barge. A wide array of worn-down drones fitted the battered decks. Most are utility and domestic types, but a few, cordoned off from the others, are low-end security models. The salesman smiles indulgently at you. A tall, lanky, human of clear Cantonese ancestry. He's wearing a cheap suit and limply clutching a smelly cigarillo. He adjusts his tie with exaggerated nonchalance, languid, ostentatious, like an American casino promoter. Hey there, beautiful. Welcome to our little floating heaven. You got a discerning look to you. What brings you here brings you to Reliable Matthew's Robot Bazaar. He taps Ash over a bulky cleaning drone beside him. Not waiting for an answer, he continues. Perhaps you're looking for a hexacopter as a guide to Hong Kong, a little handheld tarantular beauty to brew your teeth. You're Reliable Matthew? That's right, Reliable Matthew Shun at your service. He extends his hand to shake. The odors of peach-scented moisturizer and stale tobacco smoke wash over you. How about it? Pleasure to meet you, Reliable Matthew. Always, always. Welcome to our little patch of peace on the river. I think you'll really love Hoi. It's just a fantastic place. Well, now that we're acquainted, maybe I can brighten up your day a bit. What's on your robot list, friend? I'm interested in your combat models. Reliable Matthew looks over his shoulder at the security drone, some heavily cannibalized in the corner ahead of you. He turns back to you with a nervous smile. Funny you should ask. I've just gotten a Doberman that I'm selling for an incredible bargain price. Shall we take a look? Yeah, let's look at what you got. I don't want any of your drones. I've just seen if you got armor. There we go. Cargo carrier. Alright. Like the old song says, a droney day is a happy day. Alright. So far the shaman garb is in the lead, but I haven't talked to anybody yet. Maximum Law. Overhead, a gigantic holocsign shines like a searchlight, screaming its message through the dim light. It hums and flickers, sputtering like an old engine. Fierce electrical crackles sporadically burst out of the sign's emitter, stabbing your eyes and filling your ears with static. Under the baleful glare of the sign, the rusty mini-barge's deck is stacked with electronics. Dilapidated stereos share space with crisply boxed servers. Ranks of disks and memory chips fill display cases, padlocked under plexiglass. A short human in his late 20s stands in the middle, hands on hips, talking loudly into the air. Bulky virtual reality goggles cover his eyes. A data jack cable runs from his temple down to his stained t-shirt to a beltload of clearly home-built computer hardware. No, I'm telling you, his voice is short clipped. Nobody uses KM3s. Like, nobody. They're shit. I don't care what Bang says. If SHIOS SRP uses KM3s, they're stupid. Hey, flesh is rolling up. I gotta go. He turns to face you, goggles blank and enigmatic, blinking with tiny lights and wrapped in duct tape. He points at your PDA. I ripped that PDA. You work for Kindly. His lips work impatiently. What do you want? Who are you? Servo's whine as two lenses out of his goggles zoom in on you. Who am I? You're new here, I get it. You don't know about me yet, but you will. I'm one of the guys that keeps this neighborhood running. This is Law's Technology Palace, satellite territory of Whampoa. You step on the boat, you're in a sovereign state. I represent Whampoa here. I'm Maximum Law. He draws himself up proudly, setting his hands on his hips. The Maximum Law, yo. Alright, yo. You got a tech problem? Boom! I solve it. You need software? Boom! Done. You don't waste my time. So you got any business in Whampoa right now? If not, keep moving. Looks like you got some dangerously exposed wires over there. Yo, what are you, my mother? Law regards you with skeptical disgust. Those wires are fine where they are, high and dry. They're only a problem for someone who does something Stupid. I'm running a high bandwidth tech operation. Do I look like I have time to take copper and sip tea? No, I don't. Law wraps his knuckles fiercely on a clear-topped case full of buses, cables, and cable harnesses. These are the only wires you need to think about. Alright, let's see what you got. Dex. Might get one for Izzy later, but right now I'm just looking for armor. He sells the same cargo carrier as the other guy. Alright, I'm out. Yeah, whatever, man. There's the clinic. That's for, whatchamacallit, cyberware. Don't need any of that. Probably missed something, but alright, it's cool. Let's just get the shaman guard. Figured there'd be someone selling guns around here. Probably is. I just walked right past them. Maybe they're down in the subway where I came from. Either way, I don't have enough to buy any guns. I'm just looking to buy armor. Just get this shaman guard. Hey, Crafty. Welcome back. Here to buy or here to chat? Let's see what you got. Take the shaman garb. I should have remembered that I could have sold, that I get to sell my other stuff, so yeah. But not until I take it off. I have to have some armor on. Yeah. Alright. There we go. Anything else? Yeah, I'm gonna sell the armor. Thanks, Crafty. See you around. Check me out. Nice. Alright, cool. I'm gonna leave off here. We'll pick up next time and do some actual missions. This has been just mostly getting to know people and chatting, which I'm totally down with. I love reading and all this kind of story stuff. So, yeah, we'll pick up here next time.